The coalition of 12 systems prided itself on maintaining order across the stars. For millennia, its member species believed their unity was unassailable. That illusion shattered when humanity entered the galactic stage. No one had expected much from the humans. Their homeworld was unremarkable, their technology unoriginal, and their biology fragile by interstellar standards. Yet when the Karuk raiders attacked a human colony, the galaxy discovered humanity's true nature. Where others retreated, humans retaliated. Where others sought mediation, humans sought justice. The Karuk were the first to feel humanity's wrath, but they wouldn't be the last. Drevik Sultan adjusted his ceremonial sash as he descended the landing ramp onto Earth's surface. The blue-green world shimmered under the light of its star, Sol, its vibrant atmosphere almost mocking the weight of his mission. Around him, towering spires of human architecture loomed, glinting in the midday sun. Despite his years of experience, Drevik's membranes fluttered with unease. He had negotiated with warlords, anarchists, and rogue AI. But this, parlaying with a species whose reputation for retaliation was the stuff of nightmares, was a gamble of unprecedented scale. As he approached the delegation's headquarters, he repeated the coalition mantra in his mind: strength through unity, peace through diplomacy. Waiting for him at the entrance was a human clad in a dark uniform, his imposing frame exuding quiet authority. "Diplomat Sultan," the man said, extending a hand. "Admiral Elias Varen." Drevik hesitated. Human's physical greetings were perplexing, yet he complied, gripping the admiral's hand lightly. Varen's grip was firm, his expression unreadable. "Follow me," Varen said, leading him into the building. Drek noted the deliberate security measures, reinforced doors, automated turrets, and personnel armed to the teeth. Humans, it seemed, trusted no one. As they entered a conference room, Varen motioned to a chair. "Sit. Let's hear why the coalition sent its finest diplomat to our doorstep." Drevik folded his elongated limbs as he sat. "Admiral, I come on behalf of the coalition to propose an end to hostilities. The galaxy cannot afford further escalation." Varen leaned back, his piercing eyes locking onto Drevik's. "Hostilities? Last I checked, humanity didn't start this war." Drevik inclined his head. "That is true, but your response has destabilized the region. The Karuk are shattered, yes, but the collateral damage—" "Stop." Varen's voice was low, but carried the weight of command. "Let me make one thing clear. Humanity doesn't start fights, but we finish them. Quickly." Varen's words hung in the air like a storm cloud. Drekik shifted uncomfortably, his membranes quivering. "Admiral, the coalition underestimated your species' capabilities. We seek to rectify that mistake through diplomacy." The admiral smirked. "Diplomacy? After centuries of ignoring us? Convenient." Before Drevik could respond, the doors slid open. A younger human entered, his strides confident and precise. Varen introduced him with a nod. "Commander Doran Kestrel. He's been leading operations against the Karuk." Kestrel's sharp features betrayed none of the weariness Drevik had come to expect from soldiers. "Diplomat," he said, his voice tinged with amusement. "Do you know how many times we tried to reason with the Karuk?" Drevik shook his head. "I am not privy to your operational details," he said. 17, Kestrel said flatly. "We offered terms of peace 17 times. Each time they laughed. Each time they killed more of our people. So, we stopped asking." Drevik's elongated fingers tightened around his sash. "And now they are defeated." "Not defeated," Kestrel corrected, his tone icy. "Broken. We didn't annihilate them. We gave them a choice: submit or vanish. They chose the former." "And the coalition?" Drekek ventured cautiously. Kestrel's smirk returned. You're only here because you're scared we'll do the same to you. The meeting lasted for hours, with Drevek presenting a carefully crafted peace proposal. The coalition would recognize humanity as an equal power, offer reparations for any losses incurred during the war, and establish joint oversight of contested territories. When Drevek finished, Varen leaned forward. This proposal benefits the coalition more than humanity. What's in it for us? Drevek hesitated. Stability. The coalition has the resources to aid in rebuilding the regions affected by this conflict. Varen's lips curled into a thin smile. Rebuilding? That's rich, coming from the species that abandoned the outer colonies to fend for themselves. Varen's lips curled into a thin smile. Rebuilding? That's rich, coming from the species that abandoned the outer colonies to fend for themselves. Drevek's membranes fluttered in embarrassment. The coalition had indeed turned a blind eye to the Carrick's atrocities for centuries, deeming the affected regions strategically insignificant. Admiral, Drevek began, choosing his words carefully, I understand your mistrust, but humanity's actions have escalated tensions across the galaxy. Surely you see the need for— Enough, Varen interrupted, his tone final. He tapped his comm unit. Bring him in. The doors slid open again, and Kestrel returned, this time holding a data pad. He handed it to Drevek. Admiral Varen has a counteroffer. Drevek scanned the document, his inner membranes rippling with shock. An alliance? Correct, Kestrel said. You want peace? Prove it. Stand with us. Help us rebuild. Fight alongside us against the threats that you ignored for centuries. Drevek stared at the proposal. It was bold, almost reckless. An alliance with humanity would cement their place as a dominant power in the galaxy, but it would also force the coalition to confront its own failings. And if we refuse? Drevek asked quietly. Kestrel's expression darkened. Then we'll defend ourselves. And if that means dismantling the coalition, so be it. Over the next several days, Drevek observed humanity more closely. Varen granted him access to a training facility where human soldiers prepared for deployment. Drevek marveled at their resilience, their capacity to push themselves beyond physical limits. In one training session, he watched a sparring match between two soldiers. The combat was brutal, each blow precise and unrelenting. Yet when one fighter fell, the other extended a hand, pulling him to his feet. Drevek approached the victor, a wiry man named Cole Tannen. Why do you help him? He is your competitor. Tannen grinned, wiping sweat from his brow. Because we're on the same team. Out there, he gestured skyward. It's us against the void. If we don't have each other's backs, we don't survive. I think the simplicity of the answer struck Drevek. Humans thrived on conflict, yes, but their unity was what made them truly formidable. They weren't driven by bloodlust. They were driven by loyalty. Back in the conference room, Drevek faced Varen and Kestrel once more. Admiral, Commander, I believe I now understand humanity better. Your actions are not born of malice, but of necessity. You fight not because you desire war, but because you refuse to be victims. Nice speech, Kestrel said, his smirk returning. But understanding isn't enough. What's your answer? Drevek took a deep breath. I accept your terms. On one condition. Humanity must commit to aiding in the reconstruction of the worlds affected by this war. Varen raised an eyebrow. You want us to clean up your mess? No, Drevek said firmly. I want you to show the galaxy who you truly are. Not destroyers, but protectors. For a moment, silence reigned. Then Varen extended a hand. Deal. Word of the alliance spread quickly, shaking the galaxy to its core. Many coalition members resisted the idea of partnering with humanity, but Drefik's impassioned pleas swayed the majority. They are not our enemies, he declared before the coalition assembly. They are our salvation. Hence, the South Euclid Somnolete. Humanity, true to their word, deployed fleets not to conquer but to rebuild. On worlds ravaged by war, human engineers worked alongside Arvian architects, their combined efforts forging a fragile but hopeful peace. Drevik became a symbol of unity, lauded as the diplomat who had turned a tide of destruction into a wave of renewal. And humanity, once feared as a harbinger of chaos, emerged as an unlikely beacon of hope. Years later, Drevik stood aboard a human starship, gazing out at the stars. Beside him stood Varen and Kestrel, their camaraderie born of shared struggles and mutual respect. "You took a big risk, diplomat," Varen said, his voice tinged with admiration. Drevik inclined his head. "It was a gamble, but one worth taking." Kestrel chuckled. "You know, for a species that talks about unity, your coalition sure knows how to divide itself." "Oh," said Nishi. "Perhaps humanity can teach us otherwise," Drevik replied. Varen's lips curled into a rare smile. "Maybe. But don't forget, we're still watching." Drevik's membranes quivered in amusement. "And so is the galaxy." As the ship surged forward, carrying its crew toward an uncertain future, Drevik felt a flicker of hope. Humanity was not the monster the coalition had feared. They were something far more complex and far more extraordinary. They were heroes,